welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 57. Alright, we have officially completed our first championship in the professional league previously, and now it is time for us to move on to our second professional league championship, which is the Elise trophy. And well, as of which, obviously, I'm not in my garage because, well, I have a feeling it'll be too much of a task for me to use the Elise 190, and well, just because I want to use this car in this game anyway, I'm just gonna buy myself the preferable choice, which is the Motorsport Elise, because the Elise trophy is up next. But also, we have quite a few colours to choose from here. Well, I think it's pretty clear this is blue. I think this is lime green. That's British racing green. I think that's black. This is red. It's going to be yellow, orange, and cyan. Well, you know, I don't think I have driven any cars in orange yet. Or... yeah, sure. Let's get this thing in orange. Just because I want to stand out. Let's now get some tuning on this thing. And well, I don't think I'm gonna give myself the suspension this time, because even though suspension tuning has been hugely helpful, I figure it's probably better if I challenge myself. So, I'm gonna put on the racing muffler, because obviously this is the professional league, and this is not one of those silly bullshitty championships, because we actually need tuning on this thing if we are going to tackle the Perseverance. And I'm also going to put on the Super Slick tyres, because, well, that's what you would expect me to do, and, well, just because I want to, I'm going to give this thing a little oil change, and also because effectively the reason I chose orange is because, well, I wanted to stand out. And well, as for the rims themselves, yeah, I'll just get some speed lines, you know, because why not? Yeah, sure, these will work. Just because I like to give my cars some character. And so, let's head over to our second championship event in the beginner league, which is the Elise trophy. Try the Elise trophy. Elise, the latest creation from Lotus, is lightweight using an aluminium frame, or aluminum frame, and FRP. Skillfully drive today's Fairy of the legendary Colin Chapman championship race. And officially, ignore what it says on there, there's actually 5 rounds in this championship, not 10, and underneath it does say Elise. And so these are the tracks we're going to: Monaco, Apricot Hill, Deep Forest, Rome Reverse, and Trial Mountain to finish off. 15 grand if we can win each of these races, and these are the cars we need. Either one will do, and we also need the ID license, but anyways. Let's head over to race number 1, and where officially we are going to Monaco, and where I believe each of these races are probably going to be 10 laps, methinks. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go. So, just gonna take off the assists because I don't need them, and yeah, let's get going to race number 1, which starts the Elise trophy. We are beginning in London, and I'm pretty certain this will probably be an easy win, and my TV is doing weird shit again, which is one thing I don't like to see, and literally both of the Motorsport Elises in this race are racing in British racing green. Meanwhile, I chose orange, because I don't think I can call myself racing in orange, at least not up to this point in the game. Anyways, had to barge down the inside there to get through Mirabeau. I should have probably learned the names of these corners by now, but unfortunately at the moment I have not, and as I expected, we are just constantly clashing with one another at the moment. And having to get a little bit aggressive there myself as we head through the tunnel, so I did not lose the position, and already... oh, fuck. Fuck. Okay. I had to hit the wall at the Nouvelle chicane. So, diving down the inside, and these AI are still trying their best to fuck with me at the moment. Or unless the leader is probably racing in black, which I suspect is probably what he is racing in. And my car is very loose at the moment. But again, the reason why I did not get the suspension is, well, because I wanted to challenge myself. And, well, with this thing, it's probably going to be a similar story as to what happened with the Zonda, methinks. Because effectively, the car will probably handle very poorly on fresh tyres, and then eventually, when we manage to get down to the latter parts of the stint, the car just basically gets better and better in terms of handling. And I think because my rear tyres are starting to warm up here at Monaco, I might be able to possibly compete for the lead. I know it doesn't look like I'm leading at the moment, but obviously that's basically because these AI just wouldn't leave me alone and let me get on with my race. They were just literally wanting to wreck me pretty much for the entirety of that first lap, as of which the field at the moment is pretty much split 50-50. And at the moment I am driving like an arsehole, because I do not know where my braking points are. And obviously, this car at the moment is pretty tricky to handle, from what I can make out. Meanwhile, my TV is still doing weird shit. And it would be nice if I could stop doing that. Anyways, I'm starting to close up to the leader, even though I do have to remember that obviously, since I'm not driving a race car anymore, I need to remember to brake earlier than I would in a race car. But again, I'm still pretty confident in saying I probably can win this race, because the AI don't appear to be as competent around this circuit as they might be other circuits. And I am closing up to the leader at the moment, as of which the gap is now only 0.8 of a second. And, oh okay, the leading Elise is racing in black. I guess I had a good reason for choosing orange, because that's decided, because that is exactly what I decided to go for. Yeah, I do apologise at the moment, I'm not really thinking of much to say. This time, I do need to remember to brake early, because I will just hit the wall if I don't, like I have done the past 2 times I've got through that section. And already, I'm now closing up on the leader, and I'm going for a dive through to back. I did not think that was going to pay off, but officially, it did manage to pay off, and it almost looks like my TV simulator is just going to shut itself off. By the way, it's just constantly glitching at the moment, probably because of how old it is. I mean, it is still a HD TV, but obviously it's just a HD TV from basically the late 00s, which is pretty much the main reason why it's just glitching a lot at the moment, and probably because it's trying to generate this in 1080 progressive scan in terms of quality, because that's exactly what the P is short for in video quality, progressive scan. Anyways, so I am leading black at the moment by 1.8 seconds pretty much, because after managing to avoid the chaos of lap 1, or at least persevere through the chaos of lap 1, I eventually managed to maneuver myself up into the second position, and I am now starting to pull away from the leader. And a little late there on the brakes before the chicane, but I still managed to get through it now that I officially have the tyres up to temperature here at Monaco. And of course I do apologise if my TV is still continuing to glitch. That's a problem I cannot sort out, because it basically does that every so often. It's not a problem I can sort out unless I get a higher definition TV. And considering the amount of money I currently have, and also because of how many more games I'm wanting to play before I do that, chances of me pretty much replacing this TV at the moment are unlikely, because I have to basically stick with the one I have, basically. And I would imagine by the time this championship is done, I will have probably come through to ultimately claim my prize, methinks. Anyways, I am continuing to pull away from the two Motorsport Elises. Meanwhile, at the back we have the Elise 190s. And whatever the order is at the moment, I can officially tell you that all of us at this moment are pretty much strung out in terms of our current positions. And I also didn't do any weight reduction to this thing either, because, well, I thought that wasn't necessary. Anyways, I am still continuing to gradually extend my interval, and already I am now halfway through the race. So 2.8 seconds now to the second placed Motorsport Elise, who I think is black. And then it is the green Motorsport Elise in third. And as for the order of the Elise Sport models, I couldn't tell you until we officially get down to the finish. Anyways. So just continuing to gradually extend my lead at the moment, as I now hit the inside wall because I'm not concentrating. But officially, at the moment, I am just managing to gradually extend my interval. But obviously, I did want to challenge myself going into this race. I wanted to see how this car would handle without sport suspension. And even though it looks like I didn't have it under control at the time, I managed to overcome the adversity, and officially I am now pretty much leading this thing, and I'm starting to put myself on a tearaway scheme, methinks. Well, because I don't know anything about flat screen TVs, I honestly couldn't tell you how exactly I'm going to resolve this issue, because at the moment it does not look like that's going to be the case, unless the glitching suddenly stops. As we now head down through Lowe's hairpin once again, and pretty much continuing to extend my lead as I head through Portier, and heading through the tunnel now for lap 7, going through there at over 110 miles an hour, probably 125 by that time, and officially I can now say I'm continuing to extend my interval. As it stands at the present time. So gap has now increased to 5 seconds, by default of me basically being stronger than his AI, basically. My lap times, I would say, are pretty much evenly matched, as of which we are now pretty much 3/3 of the way there. The 4 Elise Sport 190s are pretty much fighting over who will finish in the 4th position. And of course, I did decide to challenge myself by not putting on the suspension, and it's definitely become more of a challenge, but obviously, since this is the professional league, I'm pretty certain I've done all the tuning I need to do to officially win hopefully 4 out of 5 of these races. But again, once I managed to take the lead here at Monaco, I knew very well that from one side of the track to the other, it was going to be an easy win. Once I managed to clear the traffic that was primarily blocking me, and at the moment my lead is still continuing to prove its extension course, and that's all. Anyways, 7.5 seconds is now the interval as we come up to the end of lap 8. I am very much fishtailing at the moment, and almost beat my best lap time on that lap. I was only 4/10 off on that lap, and my lead is still continuing to extend over black. Green is currently running in 3rd, and I've also just noticed we are now on the penultimate lap here in Monaco. But again, because I've already saved a replay here at Monaco in the professional league, this is obviously not going to be where I officially save the replay. Braking early because I know very well that if I brake any later I will just Anyways, the gap is now over 10 seconds. So that just proves to you how dominant I am in this race at the present time. And could this be an improvement on my best lap? Yes, it can. By 6 tenths, because I have now set a 142.9 at the end of that lap. And so officially we are now 11 seconds cleared of the 2 other Motorsport Elises in this championship. Also, I know I didn't mention this at the start of the race, but officially the field is pretty evenly split. Because we basically have 3 Elise 190s, and including me, we officially have 3 Motorsport Elises. And I am managing to control the Motorsport Elise now. Everything pretty much seems okay now that I know everything is up to temperature, and already we are now coming up to the end of the first race. As we now head down the Harbour Straight into Tabac now for the final time, and through the pool chicanes we go, still continuing to get oversteer, which is pretty much inevitable. But my TV, please stop with the fucking glitching. As we now head through La Rascasse now for the final time, and across the bus stop straight we go, and officially it is victory. And by 1.2 seconds I pretty much set a new best lap. And so, let's now wait for everybody else to finish, because the Elise 190s are way the fuck behind the rest of us. There we go. There's the last of the Elise 190s. So in the end of that, I won by 15.8 seconds over black. The green Motorsport Elise finished in 3rd, and then it was the first of the Elise 190s, which I think is in blue. Then it was the yellow Elise in 5th, and then at the back was white. You know, I can probably just name these Elise models by colour, and I think in a way that's probably what I'm going to do. So I'm 1st, black is 2nd, green is 3rd, blue is in 4th, yellow 5th, and then white is currently last. And 15 grand for winning race 1. Sorry, I really cannot get the words out at the moment. And it's also started raining again outside my house. Guess who's surprised? Not me. Anyways, race 2. Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much of your time, because obviously this is a 5-race championship that I have to put in a single segment. And obviously to those of you who are confused at why my TV is glitching so much, well, it's simply because obviously it's trying to transmit the quality into the USB on my capture card, methinks. I mean, that probably could just be me, but obviously that's what I think the case is. Anyways, we are here at Apricot Hill, and already I am diving down the inside of blue, and up into the 4th position we go. And officially, I'm starting to close in on the leaders. Pit stops are probably unlikely to be the order of the game here, but again, I will be trying my hardest to see if I can officially win these races. And as much as I really wanted to use the Elise 190 again for this event, I decided it was probably best not to. because officially the Motorsport Elise has a lot more power than the Elise 190, and obviously I figure, of course, that since that is the case, I might as well just stick with this. And I just remembered this thing is a 5-speed, and I make contact with lights, which is not the way I usually race unless my car is very loose, because that's basically the only way I would make contact at such a place, because of basically how loose my car was through that corner. Anyways, I am currently losing time to the leaders, but I would imagine, hopefully, it will not be too long before I catch up to them, and then by the time I do manage to catch up to them, hopefully I will manage to put myself in the position I want to be in. And hopefully, if it's possible, tyre trouble might be the story of the race, because oddly enough, I'm struggling at the moment because my front tyres at the moment are still cold, but at the very least, I can say I am starting to catch up to the two Elises now. Black is leading green, and obviously, as for the rest of the field at the moment, they are pretty much going to be streaks behind us anyways. My preferable tyres are starting to catch up to the leaders, now that my tyres have officially warmed up, and I would now think that officially this is probably going to be where I manage to generate the speed I need to hopefully take the lead. Anyways, we are now 3 laps into this race, almost. And that margin is continuing to close right now, as which we are now pretty much 2.8 seconds behind the leaders and still continuing to close up. Alright, so here we are. Approaching the final corner here now at Apricot Hill. The two Motorsport Elises are side by side, and I am not far behind this group. I'm just looking to see if anyone is interrupting me, and fortunately not. So gap is now 1.3 seconds. Black is currently leading green, as which obviously it's British racing green, to those of you who are asking what the colour is. And the closing up is still continuing at the present time, as my tyres are literally screaming. And almost touched the gravel there. As of which I am now right behind the two Motorsport Elises, and hopefully once I do manage to get a run on both of them, I will be able to make my manoeuvres stick, and hopefully I'll be able to swerve my way up into first position. Anyways, closing up to both of the Motorsport Elises now, going down the inside and almost losing it there. Made a little bit of contact there with the green Elise as I was sliding. Fortunately, there were no major issues, and I am right behind Black now for the lead. So Black is still holding on to the lead at the moment, but I am officially diving down the inside. That's more or less fair play, and he's trying to slot in behind me to see if he can do the switchback, but it does not look like that's going to happen, and he just bumped me. Oh no you don't. You ain't passing me, fucko. That was completely unnecessary. Anyways, his AI still tend to be over-aggressive on the player, because they will literally attempt to take you out if they have any shots of doing so per se, simply because they don't care if you exist or not. They will try and take you out because they virtually don't care for your existence when you're racing, and they will try their best to take you out. You can count on that. Anyways, Green has now overtaken Black for the lead. Sorry, for second, because I just remembered I am leading. And also, furthermore, this thing is a 5-speed, because I did not put on a racing transmission. Anyways, I am now in the lead once again, because my tyres are more durable than the AI's. Even though they probably are racing on slick tyres, just not the super slicks. And I think I may be able to beat both of the Motorsport Elises here at Apricot Hill. That is a possibility, as of which at the moment I'm just continuing to gradually extend my lead, because rubber banding is not as strong in the professional league. So the gap is now 2.1 seconds. I'm pretty certain that interval will only extend, and indeed it has. We are now 2.5 seconds clear now of both the Motorsport Elises. Green is in front of Black at the present time, and I'm pretty certain there will be a two-way tie for second position after this race, and then at the back the Elise 190s will basically just be left to fight it out on their own. And I think I can see a fly just above me, so by the time I finish this race I might have to pause the game so I can basically kill it. Or at least by the time I finish the race I'll probably do that. Anyways. Also furthermore, this car does not like being on the curbs, which is another important thing I should probably note. But anyways. 7 laps are complete. Interval has shrunken slightly because I was sliding on the curbs. And again, I know this might be a race car Elise, but believe me, this thing is still pretty fucking difficult to control if you upset the balance, and that is exactly what I fucking did. But officially, I am now starting to extend my interval. As we now head under the Dunlop Bridge once again into the hairpin, and went very late on the brakes there, but managing to put myself through this perseverance, and I am now officially pretty much 2.8 seconds clear. Oh Oh, fuck me, this thing likes to fishtail. Because that is what I'm doing a lot of at the moment whenever I touch the curbs. Fishtailing. And, as I expected, tyre trouble is an issue here at Apricot Hill because wear is much higher, or degradation is much higher here at Apricot Hill than it is at Monaco. And officially, both of the Motorsport Elises have pitted, and now 2 out of 3 of the Elise 190s are pitting, except for the first one, who I would imagine is probably going to be pitting in on the very next lap. And the fly I can see right in front of me is being very annoying at the moment. I'll have to take care of that by the time I'm waiting for everyone else to finish. I don't think it's really necessary for the Elise 190 that didn't pit to attempt an overcut, because I personally think it's unnecessary, because you will basically just rejoin at the back of the pack anyway. So, the gap is currently 19 seconds, and officially at the end of that lap, I was only less than a tenth off my PB. So, if I can manage to avoid upsetting the balance whilst my tyres are on the curbs, I might be able to possibly improvise on that 1:24.8. Assumingly, because of his overcut, I would imagine he will probably not get the position back that he worked so hard for. Because, well, this is professional league racing when tyre troubles happen. And if you usually have the harder tyres than the AI do, that's effectively when you can basically put yourself onwards pretty much being the dominant force. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of that. But anyways, coming across the line, and I improve on my best lap time by 3.5 tenths, basically. So that is the order. And the only position change we've had is basically white beating yellow. So let's now wait for everybody else to finish. Alrighty then, there we go. Everyone has officially finished, and it's taken 55 seconds for the yellow Elise to finish this fucking race because of his pretty much final lap pit stop. Anyways, so green has beaten black in this race. Blue still holds on to 4th position, and the only change we've really had in the championship up to this point is that white has officially beaten yellow to 5th position at the moment. So we have 2 ties at the moment. One is for 2nd and the other one is for 5th. But I'm pretty sure both of those will change eventually, dependent on knowing if there will be any fucking ties or not. I honestly couldn't tell you, but anyways, race 3. And will this be another race decided on tyre degradation? Probably. Am I going to try and see if I'll win this race? Absolutely. Because that is what I'll do. So, race 3 of the Elise Trophy, where I'm pretty certain this will probably be another easy dub on pure pace with tyre longevity. because that is exactly how I've basically won every other race up to this point. And my TV is still continuing to do weird shit, and I follow the white Elise to basically running wide at the accident of happen. And even though I will be off the pace briefly compared to the leaders, I'm pretty certain it will not be long before I manage to make a manoeuvre for first position by the time the tyres are warmed up. Because, well, this is another track where the AI don't appear to have as much of the competence as the player does, and I just fucked myself. Probably because I'm on cold tyres. And officially, my rears are starting to warm up now, he thinks. So hopefully I might be able to correct myself from that issue I made earlier, and possibly go down the inside, and indeed I do. I have overtaken Gran for second position, and already I'm now pretty much 1.15 seconds behind Black. And hello, Oversteer. How are you doing on this beautifully rainy day, as it is raining outside? Because this is England, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, looks like the gap at the moment increased through that sector, but obviously I will manage to probably get him back, because I'm pretty certain sector times do not make much of a difference. But officially, now that my tyres are starting to warm up, I am officially starting to get a feel for this thing once again. So, coming up now, of course, to the end of lap 2, and already I'm now right on the ass of the Black Elise. 3.5 tenths basically. And fortunately, because we are not racing a test course, I am sincerely hopeful in saying this race will officially be a clean sweep. Or at least I'm hoping it will be a clean sweep. And even though I do now have the tread I need to control this thing, obviously, this thing is still continuing to bounce pretty much up and down around the course whenever I put it on the curves, because fucking hell, this oversteer. That's about all I could think of. Anyways. So, I am up into the lead, and I am virtually 1.2 seconds clear of the Black Elise now. Green is running third, and then I think it's blue in fourth, ahead of white and yellow. And yes, I am calling these models by colour because they're basically the same. Meanwhile, my TV is still succumbing itself to the glitchiness that I do not want it to do, but obviously I have to make do, because it's an issue I cannot sort out. And also because it's effectively, because I'm playing a PS2 game on a PS3. Anyways, I think I've managed to get the grip problem sorted out, even though I am still virtually cursed with oversteer. I would think at the present time I probably have got the issue corrected, and hopefully this is not an issue I will have to resolve indefinitely. Meanwhile, guess who is now dominating this race? By 2.8 seconds. Because margins are closer now. But again, because Deep Forest is another road course in terms of actual circuits in this game, I am pretty certain this will probably be another easy W, because tyre degradation on the AI probably will give me the overall advantage, and since I am now pretty much far enough ahead in saying that I could probably make a mistake and still win this, as long as it's not a major mistake, I am still pretty certain that at the moment I can manage to hold on to my advantage. And just easing off the throttle there for the fucking final corner so I do not run wide. And also got my left side tyres on the curb there, which probably shouldn't have happened, but again, it just did, because I wanted it to. And I think it's now pretty much official to say for sure that I now pretty much have a 5.3 second cushion over the leading Motorsport Elise, who is black. Then it is green in third, and there is quite a tussle going on for who exactly is going to finish fourth in this race, because that's actually a pretty close battle. And as of which, because I'm not dominating this race, this has actually been probably the closest race we've had so far. Meanwhile, I am just continuing my extension, and I set a new best lap by over a tenth. And 7 seconds now at the end of lap 6. Gradually extending in terms of my margins, pretty much going faster and faster at the present time, and officially that gap is now pretty much continuing to extend, as of which I am now less than 8 seconds cleared of both black and green. And I am pretty certain this will probably be an easy W, because I am now 8 seconds cleared of both the Motorsport Elises and, well, my fastest lap streak didn't take too long to end. And the main reason why my TV is just glitching a lot is basically because, well, I'm playing a PS2 game on the PS3. And even though this is a first-gen PS3 that I have here, there are still some issues I've noticed when it comes to the rendering of PS2 games and PS3s. And And the only real comment I have now is, well, domination, basically. Because there really isn't anything else I can say up to this point. And I cut the corner. Did not mean to do that. Anyways. Hooray! New lap. New best lap. In fact, by over a second. And I don't think I'm going to go any faster. But I will try. Although, overall, I guess on some circuits, tyre degradation is more of a problem on certain circuits than it is other circuits, basically. I mean, tyre damage probably is a problem at certain circuits in comparison to other circuits, but again, I'm still pretty certain that overall I probably will win this race with relative ease now, because I think these AI up to this point in the race, because of their tyre wear, I would imagine they've pretty much eavesdropped at this point in the event. So rounding out the final corner now, and I'm cutting the final corner once again because I was on the inside, and I set a 1:17.4 on that lap, and I was so close to hitting top speed, which I think is probably like 215 kilometers, which I think is around about probably 155 miles an hour, methinks. Although I don't know for sure. 155, 156 in miles, methinks. Anyways, and Green has now taken second position away from Black. So this is going to cause quite a chain reaction in the championship overall. And as for the Elise 190s, I would imagine this is still going to get interesting. So we do have an overtake for second position, but obviously on pure pace I am once again going to emerge for the third time in a row as the winner. So it is 3 wins on pure pace for the Orange Motorsport Elise. And let's now wait for everybody else to finish. Considering I would imagine it's not going to be long. And 19 seconds in the end, so their tyres must have really dropped off in those final 3 laps of this race, and everyone else is now finished. And I made the right decision to not stop recording before everyone finished, because it only took the last placed car to 31.5 seconds to finish. So Green now takes second position away from Black officially, and Yellow is now ahead of White. Meanwhile, Blue at the moment is still holding on to 4th position. So 3 wins in 3 races, and hopefully if tyre wear does become a problem again at Rome Reverse, then I'm pretty certain I will probably be the winner. Anyways, let's just check something here, shall we? Okay, it's Deep Forest Reverse, I have that replay, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, saving replay, because I can. Anyways, let's now move on to race 4. and where this could officially be where I pretty much clinch the championship on aggregate. Let's just get this before my voice starts dying again. So, sipping my water, just in case if my voice should die again, and hopefully I can manage to do more or less what I have been doing for these past 3 races, winning on pure pace and hopefully winning this race on durable tyres, because that is exactly how I have won the previous races. So it's definitely been more of a challenge to drive my cars without the sport suspension, and green has now fallen back to 5th position, and I'm now charging up the inside of yellow and also forced him into the wall. Probably shouldn't have done that, but again I still did anyway because they would have probably done the same thing to me, and it is pretty much crashes galore at the moment here in Rome. Because obviously, I don't feel too much remorse because the AI would have probably done the same thing to me anyway. But obviously, I still feel remorseful over not racing as clean as I should be. And ironically enough, at the end of the first lap, I am officially going to take the lead here in Rome, which I did not predict to happen. But there we are. I am now leading black in this thing, and it is going to be interesting to see what the final race has to offer, methinks. We could possibly even have a tie for second if that was going to be the case. Anyways, I am pretty much less than a second cleared now of the black Elise, and I think green has now moved back up to 3rd position. And as I expected at the present time, I am not being challenged. So 1.2 seconds now, pretty much the gap to the black Elise. Race is pretty close at the moment, even though I'm still pretty certain with the tuning I currently have on this thing that I probably will be able to win this race by the vast rate of knots that I'm currently going at the moment. And I think my left side just got airborne there for a moment, but didn't affect the handling, fortunately, and we are now onto the 3rd lap. And so, officially, all I can really say at the moment as well, I am pretty much decimating the field. Sorry, that was all I could come up with, but yes, I am dominating this race. As we now head through these 2 left-handers, because obviously this is the reverse course. So, I am here, and officially, all I can really say at the moment as well, I'm not concentrating. And someone is knocking on my window, and I'm trying to ignore that because I'm necessarily consider myself to be an ignorant person, but obviously, because I'm trying my best to focus on this and not what's trying to cause a disturbance around me, at the present time there really isn't anything else I can do except try to concentrate as hard as I can and not feel the intimidation of attempting to do something else whilst I'm focused on this, primarily speaking. I am pretty certain there probably are some of you that are telling me there should probably be better things a 20-year-old git, a 20-year-old computer-addicted geek like myself could officially be doing right now at the present time, but because I don't have to do anything else at the present time, I stuck to this. Why? Because I wanted to. And not as much at that time on those inside curves, but still got some air on the rear. As of which we are now 3.5 seconds cleared of the 2 motorsport Elises, and that gap is probably more than likely to extend as we now head onwards, of course, to the start of lap 5, and the gap is still gradually and continuously extending as I slide into the outside because oversteer. Second of the 2 left-handers, because reverse course, and heading up now of course to the Coliseum corners, because you can see the Coliseum right there, pretty much right in front of you. We've also got some spectators over there. Even though obviously the Coliseum is not in its original shape, because, well, First and Second World Wars destroyed those parts, but fortunately, however, the structure is still there, and obviously it is still very much part of the cradle of humankind. Unless you would of course account for the desert outside Johannesburg, which is in South Africa. But yeah, officially the Colosseum is basically what you can probably refer to as being partially the cradle of Anno Domini, because that thing was built right up to the point of when we officially entered the Anno Domini period. At least when we ultimately saw the birth of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, which is basically why the Colosseum has been standing there for pretty much well over 2 millenniums now, because this is 2021, or at least it's 2021 the year that I have recorded this game. And I've also noticed some matches there, so yeah, that is something. Anyways, we are pretty much over halfway through the race now, and a 1:30.3 is now the best lap time we have set. 7.7 seconds now, virtually the margin. And I have no doubts in saying that interval will only increase as we head through the final 3 laps of this race. least get through to the final 3 laps of this race. Anyways, 8 seconds, now the interval. Black is leading green. And I cannot tell you what the standings are for the 190 group, because, well, they're pretty much locked in a battle of their own, and their positions at the moment are constantly changing, so I honestly don't think I can be informative on what's happening behind us, except for everything of the 2 motorsport Elises, but again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess is the main point. I'm trying to empathise. Right, so, anyways, completing lap number 7, and officially we set a 130.5. So more or less, low 131s, mid 130s are pretty much our current lap times, and the gaps, as far as I know, are only continuing to gradually increase. Like I've said before. And officially, all I can really say at the moment is, well, domination. Basically the only word I can really think of at the present time. Anyways, we are officially coming onwards to starting the penultimate lap of this race. So gap is now 10.4 seconds and is still continuing to increase indefinitely as I see myself on those inside curbs, and a new best lap time, a 130.2 this time around. And officially we now have just 2 laps left, and then I can probably pause for a minute because I'm getting hungry. Or at least I can probably pause by the time I've done this race, and then we can return. So, approaching the 2 left-handers here once again, and the winds are indeed beginning to howl here in Rome, and of course, to ignore what I said before about the Colosseum being the cradle of humankind, it's actually the cradle of Anno Domini officially, because, well, the dome has basically been there for more than 2 millenniums now, and obviously I got confused in thinking it was the cradle of humankind, when realistically it was basically the cradle of Christianity. Also, by the way, I'm not religious. And we are now into the high 129s as we start the final lap, and ITB is still doing weird shit. And I don't think that's going to be an issue I'll officially resolve. Probably because I am playing a PS2 game on the PS3 system, and 2 of the Elise 190s come into the pits. I don't really see any point in why exactly they want to pit, but officially 18 seconds now the margin to the 2nd Motorsport Elise in line. I am pretty certain that this race will probably be an easy win. and officially, I do apologise if the information I've given out is false, but fortunately, the domination continues because of my tyre longevity, and effectively, durability wins again here in Rome. And it also sets a new fastest lap to compensate. And well, I'm going to keep this thing on record because, well, I'm probably going to be away for a few minutes before we start the final race, because obviously I'm getting hungry. Anyways, the two Motorsport Elises have now finished this race, both 21 and 23 seconds behind me respectively. White is currently running in 4th position, and as a result of both yellow and blue pitting, they are almost certainly going to be way the fuck behind everyone else, basically, because they pitted in on the penultimate lap. Also, I'm still yawning at the moment, and it's taken them less than a minute to finish. Alrighty then, so that was race number 4, and officially this is basically where I can now go on a brief interlude. So another perfect 10 points to me, and the two Motorsport Elises are now tied for 2nd position. Blue is leading yellow at the moment, and white, of course, is still in last, but we've got quite a battle here on our hands for Trial Mountain to see what the final positions will be. But officially, what I am now going to do is save this game for a moment, and officially, I shall be right back. So yeah, I'll only be a few ticks, but yeah, I will be right back. Alright, so, we are back, and officially, now that I have rehydrated myself, and I have also had my dinner to compensate, it is now officially time for us to move on to the final race of the Elise Trophy, which takes place at Trial Mountain, and where officially I am already confirmed as the champion, and where I will be virtually double the points of everyone else if I do win this race. And judging by how this championship has gone so far, there is a likely possibility of me saying I'll probably win this race. So let's just get on with this before my teammate dies. Which I'm predicting it probably will do very soon if it keeps continuing the fucking constant glitching the way it is doing. Anyways, I am officially the champion. So clinch the championship before the final round, obviously, because there's AI pretty much battling amongst themselves for who exactly will be top honours. And as of which, as we do have a tiebreaker going into the final round of this championship, officially, at the moment it is currently black leading green, and he has now pretty much barged his way past the blue 190, as of which, obviously, he had to do that for points, and I think he might have taken the lead. And no, he has not, but he's going around the outside, and also I'm sliding. Sliding very much round the outside of the hairpin, trying to see if I can more or less do the same thing as to what the green Motorsport Elise did, and tyres are starting to warm up, so the grip, I would imagine, will probably come to me very shortly. At least on the rear it will come to me very shortly, regardless of how ill-handling this car might be. And officially, I should probably check to see if my mic is on. I'm hopeful in saying it probably is, but obviously we'll just have to wait and see. I'm trying my hardest to look down, but obviously I've not taken the lead yet, so... I'm hopeful in saying that my microphone is on, because I haven't touched it since I went away, but obviously, since I am now back and I am willing to officially get this done with, as my TV is still continuing to glitch out like hell, I am just hoping my microphone is able to register all of this, and yes it is. And as a result of me failing to concentrate, I completely overshot the hairpin. Because I was looking at my microphone and not looking at the entry to the corner. So, I seriously fucked up there. Meanwhile, I am already barging my way up into second position, and officially I am hopeful in saying it will only be a matter of time before I do manage to take the lead here at Trial Mountain, because I'm pretty certain, since this is the professional league, I will probably take the lead very soon, even though obviously I pretty much bulleted myself into the outside wall because I'm not concentrating. Anyways, down the inside I go, making a huge dive bomb there. I did not know how Black was able to avoid hitting the fence, but officially the huge dive bomb worked, and ultimately I am now up into first place as a result. And more contact has been made, probably because the Black Elise is trying to pay me back for a result of that contact, but as of which, because this car is pretty much ill-handling, obviously, I would not have been able to capture it before the maneuver was made. Even then, of course, if I knew very well that the car was handling better than it currently is. And unfortunately, however, that is not the case. Meanwhile, I am pretty much 4/10 of the road of the green Elise, who has now taken second away from the Black Elise, and officially, whilst those two are pretty much duking it out for second position, I am currently extending. So, I shall continue to extend my lead, because I would imagine it is only a matter of time before I am officially the winner of this race, as well as the championship. So, I'm now pretty much cleared. I am now pretty much cleared of both the two motorsport Elises in this field, as of which this field has notably had a pretty evenly split championship overall, and officially from what I can make out at the present time, there is probably going to be some carnage yet to come from behind. Just only hoping it will not happen front of me. Anyways, I am still here. And also, I do apologise if the wait took longer than I was anticipating it would, because obviously the semi-final of Euro 2020 is on at the time of when I'm recording this, and well, obviously at the moment the stats of the match are 1-1. And even though I wouldn't usually consider myself as being a football or soccer fan, to those of you who may be American viewers, officially at the moment we are pretty much 1-1, because we are battling with highly skilled Denmark, basically. And at the moment, of course, it's actually a pretty close match, even though, because of COVID, it's been pushed back to 2021. Which is exactly what the current year is, or at least it is what the year is by the time I have published this video. So, we are pretty much halfway through this race right now, and officially I'm now down into the low 130s as a result of me extending my intervals to these AI. Alright, so through Sector 1 we go, and almost hitting the inside wall as I would have expected myself to do eventually, but at the moment I would say things are going very well for the orange Motorsport Elise. And so we are now 5.8 seconds clear of the leading Motorsport Elise. And I have a feeling it is currently black that is leading green. And then I think it's probably blue that's leading the fucking 190 group. Then I think it's yellow. Then I think it's probably white in 5th, and then it's probably yellow at the back. I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm predicting the order probably is. Meanwhile, my lap times are continuing to get faster and faster, as of which at the moment I am pretty much setting purple lap after purple lap. Interval between myself and the other Motorsport Elises is continuing to extend, as of which I am now almost 8 seconds clear of both these guys, as we are heading into the closing stages of this race and pretty much the championship along with it. And it would not surprise me one bit if the interval at the end of this race is probably going to be at least possibly 11 seconds, maybe more than that, by the time we get to the finish. Because at the vast rate of knots I am continuing to extend the interval. It's basically coming as no surprise up to this point by how much I am continuing to increase my lead. And I'm pretty certain up to this point, as long as I don't bottle it. So green has now taken second away from black again. So obviously those two are still having quite a tussle. Meanwhile, I am just up front enjoying a comfortable lead. You know what? I think it's definitely going to be more than 11 seconds by the time I get to the end of this race. So, I'm willing to predict the winning margin will probably be at least 15, maybe even 16 seconds by the time I get to the end of this race, probably. But again, I could be underestimating, because, well, that's what I usually do. Anyways, I'm now heading down to the final chicane once again. Gap is now 11.7 seconds to the two Motorsport Elises. I am now officially setting lap times probably within the low 1 minute 30s, and I am sliding hugely, and I think it's fair to say my winning margin will definitely be more than fucking 15 seconds, because the AI have now pitted, and officially Blue is currently leading the pack of Elise 190s. Meanwhile, the two Motorsport Elises have pitted, and I'm pretty certain the 190s are going to be pitting at the end of this lap, and so that pretty much means I am probably going to be on a tearaway streak ahead of everyone else, basically. And I am still continuing to slide wide through the hairpin. Although, obviously, I was not predicting tyre wear would officially be that much of a problem for the AI. Although then again, I should have more or less expected this, because obviously that's probably what I was expecting by the time this race got underway. Anyways, final lap, and I'm pretty certain the Elise 190s have got to be pitting in on this lap, methinks, and yep, they are coming in. So the Elise 190s are coming in and leaving the two other Motorsport Elises in this field to pretty much solidify second and third positions. Green is leading black, and I am pretty certain that is probably the way this championship will unfold itself. Meanwhile, I am still out here continuing to extend my interval. So, heading through these final hairpin turns. And I'm pretty certain by now that victory is more or less guaranteed up to this point. Tyre longevity has officially won yet again, and that makes this championship a clean sweep. So there we go. I have swept all 5 races in the Elise Trophy, and now we are going to wait for everyone else to finish, because they are quite a way behind. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, everyone has managed to finish, and so Green has beaten Black to second position in the championship, Blue will finish in 4th ahead of White, and then it will officially be Piss Boy once again at the back, because he is yellow. And so, these are the final point standings. So, I won by a total of 26 points over Green, Black was 3rd with 24, then it was Blue in 4th, followed by followed by white and yellow, who quite surprisingly tied in this race. So 50 to me, 26 to green, 24 to black, 12 to blue, and then to white and yellow it was 9 points overall. So all I can really say about this championship is, well, domination. And officially, because of how easy this was with tyre longevity, I managed to win pretty much every race. So let's now get our trophy, and where we win 60 grand from this championship. And let's now see what prize car we win, considering obviously all of them will probably be the same. And this is what we win, another Elise 190. Although obviously, because I have no usage for this thing, I'm probably going to sell it. But there we go. That was the Elise trophy, and officially it's a clean sweep. Next time we will be doing the Clio trophy. But let's check our stats first. So we are now 46.8% complete, and officially our win ratio is still at 82%. Okay, and this is the prize car we win. Literally the exact same one that we won from the European Championship, because I'm pretty sure I have this further down in my garage somewhere. Yep, here it is. And well, since I have no usage in any way, shape or form for this one, I'm just gonna sell it because I really don't care. And also because, well, that means money, the one thing I need. So yeah, there is that. And so, next time we shall be doing the Clio trophy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And other shit.